Hi, Professor. My name is Sai Pranith Padbanla, and my teammate name is Hemalata Caroline Palaparthi. We are here to present our topic on our project for our application name is Nebula Nest. It's a one-stop destination for connecting dreams, building homes, buying or selling the property. So this is our project summary. Our project title is Nebula Nest. As I discussed our project description, our tagline is just a one-stop destination for buying or selling the apartments or properties. Uh, our teammate Hemlata Caroline, she is the chief programmer and the designer, and I'm Sapran Padvanla. I'm a developer and tester for this application. So this is our agenda. This is our today's agenda. We'll move through problem statement, solution, key features, UML diagram, coding, and last we see the testing part. First, problem statement. Yeah. The current, as in modern era, the current state of real estate transactions is marked by complications, including numerous intermediaries, complex paperwork, and a lack of transparency. This creates prolonged and frustrating experience for both property buyers and sellers. Inefficiencies in the real estate market contribute to delayed transactions, high heightened losses, and trust deficit among stakeholders. There is a clear need for a centralized, user-friendly, and transparent platforms to streamline and enhance the property transaction process of buying and selling. So this is a famous quote by Warren Buffett. It is the price is what you pay and value is what you get, and we are inspired by this to create a one-stop platform for buying and selling the property. So what solution? So this is a proposed solution. So the proposed our Nebula Nest platform aims to revolutionize the real estate market by addressing key challenges. So the Nebula Nest platform has proposed seeks to transform the real estate market by tackling significant challenges. It incorporates a centralized property database for convenient access, simplifies transaction process with user-friendly interface, and ensures transparency through precise listings and historical data. Additionally, the platform includes a marketplace that connects users with service providers and integrates robust security measures. Through the provision of educational resources and responsive customer support, Nebula Nest aims to establish a seamless and reliable real estate experience for all stakeholders involved. So, what are the key features? The key features of our project are buyer edition. So first, there are three different users for our application. One is buyer, one is seller, and the third one is admin. All of them, we have their registration screens and their login screens, like buyer registration, buyer login, seller registration, seller login, admin registration, and admin login. Buyer is the one who buys the property, and seller is one who lists the property in the application, and admin has the supervised control over buying and selling the properties. He can watch all the properties that are being sold and being bought. So, and we have a dashboard for buyer. So buyer can list the property that is willing to buy with the order of the details like location and price. Seller also has a dashboard. Seller can list the property that are willing to sell by adding the details like age, location, price, and all. Next, the admin dashboard. As I already mentioned, admin can watch all the properties of buyers and sellers and what happening in the application. He has a supervised and the centralized control for the centralized control and super access for the application. This is key feature. So firstly, the user registers as buyer, seller, or admin. So we also we also have validation on the registration, like initial validation on the form. Then user login with their credentials after registering. Then user will be automatically moved to dashboard based on his role, like buyer, seller, admin. If the user is buyer, he will be moved to buyer dashboard. If seller dashboard, and if it is admin dashboard. If user has properties, they can see all of them in the dashboard, whatever the user listed earlier. If the user is buyer or seller, then they can list the property by adding the card, like on the plus card. We also give access to the user to add, modify, delete the property that he added in the past. UML diagram. As we discussed, the user first interacts with the login screen. If he or she is a new user, he will go to the registration and move to the dashboard. If the user is a existing user, he or she will move to the dashboard as soon as the login. and they can view, add or property to the card, and after all the transactions and after all the listings, they can just log out from the application. Next, coding. Coming to the coding part, this is our home screen. You can see the option for registering. This is for new users. Buying and property, this is for buyers to log in. This is listing your property, this is seller to log in. And this is the code we can see. This is the code for our index page. We added external links and CSS, external style sheet. And we also added overlay properties, container properties, division classes, and all. Next, this is our index choosing place. After clicking on the registering, if user is buyer, seller, or admin, it will ask for a role of the user to register. The right side, we can see the code at the back end. This is the container. We have overlays, fade in up, fade out. And this will, after registering, this will move to buyer register if you click on the buyer. So this is a buyer registration page. This is referring to external style sheet. This is the form for the registering of the buyer. After successful inputting the fields, the buyer will be pop out to seller register, submit PHP, and this is the backend CSS for the registration. And we used wrapper classes. We used dot class. We used annotations as well. So this is the login screen after the user successfully registering. As mentioned in the requirements, we also used the session variables. We are starting the session, and we are storing the username, and we are retrieving back the username whenever it is required. We are maintaining the session of the user, and it perfectly aligning with the requirements of the application. So here we are opening the session, and we are opening the connection. If the connection failed, we are throwing an error. The method is post, and we are returning the seller user ID and password, and we are returning from the database, and we are storing it into the session variable username to retrieve the name of the user later. So as we retrieve the name, we are showing the name. The name is Anjali, which is retrieved from the backend database. This is the dashboard for Anjali. This card is the card which displays the property that Anjali has entered in the past. Okay, here we can see the connection to the database. Select if the select star from cards where seller user is equal username. This list all the cards or all the properties of the particular user. And we are adding the card and background images and other annotation here as well. And this is the page for adding the new card. If we add the new card, it will open the session. It's the dashboard. After clicking on the plus, this page will pop out to list your properties. As the seller is Anjali, it will be auto populated here. So here the listing ID is 3. We can click on this delete option, and we can give this ID as 3 to delete this card. Next, testing. So we perform 4 basic testing on our application, like usability testing, cross-browser and cross-device testing, functional testing, and validation testing. Coming to usability testing, as we know, usability testing is a method used to evaluate a product's user interface and overall user experience by testing it with real users. The primary goal here is to identify usability issues, gather feedback, and make informed improvements to enhance product usability. Next, coming to cross-border and cross-device testing. These are crucial aspects of web development to ensure that website or web application functions correctly. So we tested our application across all browsers like Google Chrome, Safari, Mozilla, and Opera. Next, coming to the functional testing, this is the core of the software testing. This focus on verifying that the system or application functions as expected. So functional testing involves testing the individual components, and we tested the individual components and features of the software, validate their behavior. The functional testing gives us a good results. It meets the particular requirements and all the requirements of the project. Validation testing, this is a major testing. It focuses on evaluating whether a system or application complies with its specified requirements and meets user needs and application. Uh, it is performed after the completion of the development phase, and it is we tested this before the deployment phase, going to the production. The Our primary goal is to ensure that the software as a whole meets the intended purpose and functions as intended in the real world environment. So validation testing, functional testing, all testings we performed well and we achieved good results. Next, coming to Kanban methodology, we followed four basic principles of the Kanban methodology, like visualizing the work, limiting the work in progress, focusing and flow, continuous improvement. Coming to visualizing the work, we kept the work items into easy to read visuals using sticky notes. We also strictly bound to the agile methodology by keeping track of work in progress, focus and flow. We manage the quality and quantity of work by focusing on other activities like our daily behavior as well. Coming to continuous improvement, we used plan, do, checklist, act. Like it is an interactive design and management method used in business. So we keep a check of what the task we done, and we targeted for our final phase. Like I want to thank the professor for referring us to Kanban methodology, because it gave us many benefits. Like it improved the flow, it improved our flow of work by identifying and eliminating bottlenecks. It also reduced our cycle time, um, because as we are reviewing every time, it reduced the loopholes in our work. Like it also increased the transparency because it make it easy to see the status of work at any given time. This helped us to improve communication and collaboration. It also increased the flexibility. So as I can say that this workflow can be preferred at any workplace. So one of our common practices are we used the Kanban board. We explicit policies. We also limited the work in progress. We used pull systems. Pull systems ensure that the work is pulled through workflow based on the demand, and we also used the feedback to know where we are and what we want to achieve. Next, we'll see the demo. Hema will continue from here.
Thank you, Praneeth. Thank you so much for introducing the project and discussing everything. I am going to provide the demo here. This is our front page. This is an index page. We are actually quite proud of it. We had a very good time. We spent good time designing this. So our project, as Praneeth mentioned, it is called Nebula Nest. It is basically connecting dreams and building homes. Your journey to sell or buy starts with Nebula Nest. So as you can see behind, we have added a gradient, color gradient. We wanted to go with the blue color theme for the entire website. And as you can see behind, there are also pictures that are being slide shown. That is something that we added. We selected few photos, so which gives good look and feel to the website. Here we also have few buttons. Here it is buy a property, list your property, and this is for registration, which I will explain in a bit. This is not the entire website. If we scroll down, we also added why they should choose this particular website. We have added the reasons, like easy transactions. This website not only it provides easy transactions, it simplifies buying and selling and making it is an easy transaction for everyone who is using this website. It is also an expansive network, and it is also provides verified listings. We have provided more description regarding that. And if we scroll down a little more, we have also provided few popular listings. Here we also have like a few pictures which are like the popular ones, and then we added like we have like more than 1 million users, etc. And if we go down, we added some office address details and contact details and opening hours. And we also all these are like made with fun animations. And if you click this button, we are gonna go up. So that is our front page. Now let me discuss about the buttons that I have added here. We have added fun transitions for these buttons. Whenever you hover on it, a white color bar appears and makes it white. So as we know, this website is for buying and selling a property. So if you choose this, it is basically if you want to buy a property, you can choose this, which will take you to a buyer's login. And if you choose this, it is like basically listing your property, which is basically seller's login. This is the functionality of these two websites, these two buttons. And apart from this, we have a button called registration, because to have the buyers, to have the sellers, we should have registration forms, right? So that is the reason we have added a single registration form. So let's get started. I will click the register button now. So that is a fun transition that we added. And now we can see that we have three options. One is buyer, seller, and admin. Admin is nothing but someone who has access to everything, access to all the listings, and he can delete the listings. So that is admin's functionality. He's like a super user, and we have a login already for him. So, and this is seller, and this is buyer. So let's do one thing. Let's start with seller. This is the registration form that we created. We had a fun background in the back. So this is for if you want to register as seller. We are going to give name, username, email, and password. If I click sign up, we have added validations. It is a required field, so you should fill this field. So let's do something. Let's try adding names. For example, I'm gonna give Sudha. And then I'm gonna give username as Sudha. I'm gonna give email ID as sudha.com, and I'm going to give a password for it. So if I'm already a user, I can log in here. And if I am already I want to go back home, I don't want to be in this page, we have also added this home button over here. But currently I want to register, so I am registering it. I have given all the details, so it works. So as mentioned, we should go from registration page to login. Since the registration is successful, I went to login page. This is the login page. We maintain the same color sequence for all the web pages. So I'm going to give the same user. Let me give the password. Here also I have an option, like if I'm not a login, I can, if I'm not a user, I can sign up or I can go home. So now I'm going to log in. This is our dashboard. This is which is basically our seller dashboard. This is like we have used session variables as mentioned by Pranit. So using that, we have logged in like with this name. That is why we got the exact name, like welcome Sudha. And now we can see that we have three options here. We have home button. It's like basically to go back to home. If you're lost in the website, this is the logout button. This basically ends the session. And then this is the delete option. And this is the fun part. This is where we can, this is like a animation that we created for adding a property. All the property will be added as part, like cards. So we added the same, we use the same color scheme for this. So whenever you hover on this, it flips, and you can see that we have already also added a plus button. Let's begin by creating a new property listing. So this is how we are going to do. As you can see, we are following the same look and feel for all the forms. So this is the form for listing your property. As you can see here, Sudha is already in the seller form. This is like a value that we have taken from the session variable. So we are in the same session. We are continuing the same session. So I'm going to give some details here. I'm going to give yes for garden available. I'm going to give no for parking, and then I'm going to give a selling price. I'm going to choose a file. So let's just say I want to choose this file, and then you can create listing by clicking this button. As you can see, now the listing is created. This is an image card, and you can see that a listing ID is being generated, which is stored in the database. The owner is mentioned because the owner is Sudha, and then the address and everything else is provided over here. So that is how this works. I'm going to tell about the delete option later. We also have this card will allow us to add more options. This card will allow us to add more options, but for now, I'm going to show you a different different login. So I'm going to log out. This logout will take me back to the main page, and now I want to buy a property. So I'm going I want to log in as buyer, but unfortunately I'm not a buyer. I'm not registered as a buyer. So I'm going to sign up. So I'm going to give Sam. It's the same kind of details. We also added validations for this. Sam, and I'm going to click sign up. It's successful. So that is why we are going to the login page. So I'm going to give Sam and the password, and I'm logging in. As you can see, we have used the session variables. That is why we got welcome Sam. And as you can see here, we don't have the add option for the buyer because the buyer cannot add. This is the buyer dashboard, and here you can see the listing is provided over here. So that is how you can view the listings. So let's see if we can see more listings. I'm going to log out from here. I'm now going to register in as admin. Admin doesn't have a registration form because, as I said, he's a super user. So I'm going to directly log in. Whoever knows the password, only the admin knows it. So I'm going to log in, and as you can see here, this is we know that this is admin, so admin is welcomed. Admin has all the privileges as a seller, whatever he has a seller, because he's the super user. You can see that this particular listing is that which is from Sudha is provided here. So basically all the listings are available to admin. So now let's add a property. We can also add a property from admin. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to give some place properties. I'm going to give yes for this. I'm going to give a selling price. I'm going to choose a photo, and then I'm going to create it. So as you can see now, a listing from admin is also created, and admin can view both sellers and admin's listing. So admin can also delete it, but I will just come back to it later. We can add more. So let me log out, and let's see how it is from the view of buyer. Currently there is let's say there is no buyer who is logged in. So I'm going to sign up as a buyer. We have like validations for this also. So now I'm going to sign in as Mini. I'm going to do that. I'm going to give all these details. And I'm going to sign up, which is successful. That's why we are going to login page. Now I'm going to log in as buyer. Now we can see the two listings. One is from Sudha and one is from admin. So that is how a buyer dashboard works. So that is it for the buyer dashboard. Now I told you that I'll go back to the seller dashboard once. So I'm going to log in as Sudha. We can see that we cannot view the admin listing because the seller can only view his listings. Only the admin can view all the seller listings, and buyer can view it. Admin can edit all the seller listings, but he cannot the seller cannot. So let me see. We also have a delete option. So let's do that. Deleting is done using the listing ID. So I'm going to use this listing ID is 14. Sudha can only delete her listing. So I'm going to give this ID. This is the form we are going to use. And you can see the listing is deleted. So I'm going to log out, and let's see from the point of view of the buyer. Yeah, you see that Sudha's listing is deleted. So now let's go to the admin. Let's delete the admin one also and see if it works. I'm going to log in as admin. You can see that I don't want this listing anymore, so I'm going to delete it. The ID is 17. It's done. It's deleted. So once again, I'm going to be logging back